y'all, Dixie here. I've had several people lately ask me if my hiking days are over. So today I want to talk to y'all about that. So let's dig into this. It seems like, especially ever since I got engaged, that people are starting to think that I'm just gonna give up hiking. Well, I've never been engaged or married for a reason, because it wasn't right. So I assure you that my fiance is very supportive of what I do, and he knew what he was getting himself into early on. So I have no intentions of hanging up my hiking shoes and being barefoot in the kitchen instead anytime soon. Even once I have children, I want to continue exploring and taking them out into nature. And maybe I'm assuming wrong. Maybe the reason people have been asking me this question is because I've had less actual videos of me hiking out on YouTube this year than I normally do. But let's just say it's been a horrible year for making plans, and all around for thru hikers this year, I feel like it's been a pretty tough season. Y'all might remember that I was set to thru hike the Arizona Trail back in the spring. I got all the way out to Arizona, spent that money on airfare and lodging, travel plans, etc. Got a mile into the Arizona Trail and found out the northern rim was closed at the Grand Canyon, which I'm not going to do the Arizona Trail if I can't hike through the Grand Canyon. They had set the opening date for the Grand Canyon North Rim for the beginning of June. That actually got extended again, so it turns out made a good call on that one. So I came back home, tried to regroup, and I decided to complete the Alabama Roadwalk section of the Eastern Continental Trail. If y'all aren't familiar with the ECT, it's the trail that stretches all the way from Key West up into Canada, and it connects the larger trails that you might be familiar with, like the Florida Trail, the Pinhoti Trail, the Appalachian Trail, and then there are connector pieces in between. So to go from the Florida Trail to the southern terminus of the Pinhoti Trail, you do what is known as the Alabama Roadwalk. I had knocked out a pretty good piece of it, got south of Montgomery, and crazy storms started rolling in with raging winds every day, so I kept extending when I was going to get back out there. I mean, I expect tornadoes and big storms through there in early spring, but it almost never happens in June, so it was pretty wild. So I decided to just put that one on the shelf for now. But my heart was still set on accomplishing some type of thru hike this year. So I had toyed with the idea of doing the Arizona Trail in the fall, but I really want that to be a northbound spring hike so I can more or less finish with the Grand Canyon or hit that later in the hike. So I set my sights on the Vermont Long Trail. I did a little portion of this because part of it intersects with the Appalachian Trail, but I thought it would be cool to complete the whole Vermont Long Trail. Then they ended up getting a ton of flooding. A lot of areas are washed out, and it just seems like now is not the time to thru hike that trail. Finally, in October, I am getting married. So for my honeymoon, I thought, well, we're gonna do some kind of adventure. We decided that we wanted to go to the Big Island in Hawaii for the first part of the honeymoon, and we were gonna summit Mauna Kea, and I could document that and capture it and share it here on the channel with y'all. But unfortunately, the second half of the honeymoon was set to be in Maui, which since has had devastating fires. In addition to everything else, I've had to work around multiple doctor's appointments trying to figure out what's going on with my health so I can hike forever. And I know some of y'all in the health updates that I've done have guessed that it might be histamine, and you may be right. My new naturopathic doctor has temporarily put me on a low histamine diet to try to get my gut health in order. So this is gonna be a tough one to figure out for the trail, but I'm gonna do my best, and if y'all have any suggestions, I'm all ears. So the short answer is no, my hiking days are not over. I just feel like anything I try to plan is cursed, and that's why there haven't been very many hiking videos this year. Going forward, I feel like I need to whisper my plans to people so the universe doesn't hear it and decide, no, you're not gonna do that. But at the risk of having my plans wrecked, I am attempting to go do a hike in the Sawtooths in Idaho in the very near future. Then I have a talk/group hike thing going on September 9th and 10th in Ohio. If you're in the Ohio area or you're willing to travel there, then I'll link to information about that event in the video description of this video. And then after that, I'm gonna do something. I'm aiming probably for the Centennial Trail in South Dakota. It's about a 125-mile trail, so I guess that would be my short through hike of the year. I've been thinking about doing that trail or something in South Dakota because the Great Plains is really the only region in the US I haven't hiked in yet. And then, as previously mentioned, when it cools off for the later part of the year, I might consider getting back down to South Alabama and wrapping up that little piece that connects the northern terminus of the Florida Trail and the southern terminus of the Pinhoti Trail. On these upcoming trips, I will be testing out my new CPAP. It's the ResMed Air Mini. I've got the whole setup for it now, including a battery that had pretty good reviews online and seems like the only real lightweight option. I'm just gonna get out there and experiment, and while I'm not really excited about adding this extra weight to my pack, I do think that I'm gonna sleep better on trail, and hopefully I'll be able to give some options to folks who can't backpack without a CPAP. So anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging in there with me throughout this wonky backpacking season, and I assure you I will be hitting the trails as much as I can going forward. If you have any ideas of trails that you would like to see me tackle, whether here in the US or overseas, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thank y'all so much for watching, and we will see y'all next time.